Chapter 19. Control. The morning after your heart-to-heart with Levy, you meet Mallory and Reese for a poolside brunch and fill them in on your night. Reese rolls her eyes and lifts a mimosa to her lips. Of course, Levy flew out here after you. I'm sure you took his private jet. Did you guys, talk? Levy and I worked through a lot of stuff. It was good, actually. We talked through a lot of things that have been a problem between us lately. Then why are you frowning? Because talking through things isn't the same as fixing them? What did he say when you told him about the job offer? He said he'll support my decision no matter what, that I'm the only thing that matters to him. I'll say this for Levy, the man knows his way around a grand gesture. Mallory's right, Levy's always been about going overboard. See, told you. I can read a romantic gesture faster than a back issue of Cosmo. Reese, don't you ever get exhausted of it? The big mistakes, the bigger apologies? Reese thinks about it for a moment. Not really. I mean, I get it. I get why it seems overwhelming to you, but you have to understand where Levy's coming from. The Mega Billionaire Club? Well, yes, but it's more than that. Growing up with her dad meant that every single interaction Levy had was a power struggle. Where Levy went to school, who his friends could be, even what he ate for breakfast. That man messed Levy up so bad. I mean, did he though? It's true. My mom always used to say that all of my dad's kids, Levy was the one he hurt the most. I'd like to go back in time and give younger Levy a hug. Just picturing a young, scared Levy trying desperately to stand up to his father and make sure heart hurt. I get the feeling Levy didn't get nearly enough hugs back then. He didn't. That's why I was so happy when he met you. Reese reaches across the table and squeezes your hand. Don't be too hard on Levy, Ella. No one taught him that real love is trust and respect, not elaborate gestures. But you could teach him if you wanted to. I know it. She has a point. But is it enough to make up for everything else? Oh, just... So what are you gonna do about him? Do you have a plan, grand or otherwise? So far, the extent of my plan is going on a date with him tonight. He says he's gonna pull out all the stops, show me how he's changed. I really hope he has, Ella. And if he hasn't, I'll personally throw my brother on his jet and send him packing. You laugh, finally letting yourself relax, with the knowledge that your friends will support you no matter what. They don't even know half the story, though. After a long day of lounging in the sun at the hotel pool, God, you have such a hard life. You head back to your room to get ready. Ugh, these are all the clothes I brought. Guess I should have been more prepared for an impromptu date with my billionaire sort of ex. Do you know where Levy's planning to take you tonight? No, he only told me to dress up and be outside Nobu at 7 on the dot. He's taking you to Nobu. That's Kim Kardashian's favorite restaurant. Oh, who gives a damn? He must have called in some sort of favors to get a reservation there, but she's so last minute. I'll be right back. Mallory dashes out of your room, returns a few minutes later holding a slinky dress that's perfect for a night out. I passed by a shop this morning and knew something special would happen tonight. It's perfect for your big date. You'll steal the show, and that, even Kim K couldn't compete. Am I like the only one who's tired of people bringing up Kim K? Seriously. Thanks to your daddy, you have a legacy and billions of dollars. Congratulations. And also dating Kanye, but we won't talk about that. I just get so tired of hearing about her. I'm serious. Her and her family. You run to the bathroom as quickly and change into the silky dress. You can't help but flaunt a little as you emerge as... Mallory, you're a genius. I feel sexy and powerful. I don't know how you do it, Ella, You make every outfit look like it was made for you. And if Levy can behave himself when you look like this, he can behave himself anywhere. You put the finishing touches on your hair and makeup, and by the time the car arrives to pick you up, you're ready for anything. Hopefully for Levy to show me what he's really capable of. Wow, I'll talk about this at the end of the video. The moment the car pulls up, Levy is waiting to help you out of the backseat, looking devastatingly gorgeous while he does it. Nice. I hope you're ready for a night to remember. His jaw drops as you grab your purse and prepare to enter the restaurant. Holy shit, Ella. Is something wrong? His eyes glitter as he sweeps you from head to toe. Everything his gaze lands feels hot, prickly, and totally exposed. You look hot as hell. You're about to thank him when he clears his throat and tries again. What I meant is that you're radiant, Ella. You always look beautiful, but when you pull out all the stops like this... Are you working on your compliments? He grins sheepishly down at you. You said you needed more of them. Words can't express how gorgeous you are right now. He places a hand on the small of your back and ushers you inside where the head chef is waiting. It's good to see you, Mr. Thorne. I had the staff set up a private room for the two of you in the back. I appreciate your accommodation, especially on such short notice. Chef's eyes flick over you, taking in the sight of your elegant ensemble. And now I see why you wanted privacy. If you'll follow your waiter, he'll see you to your room and start you with a complimentary bottle of sake. Even though you can't deny the splendor of the restaurant, you feel a pang of disappointment at how planned everything is. Really? Like Levy still wants to be the ultimate authority on our dates. Actually, I'd prefer to drink champagne tonight. Tonight's a celebration of sorts. Please have the waiter bring us your best bottle of champagne instead. Are you sure? I thought you said you wanted... I'm sure, thank you, sir. Levy is silent as you're led to your table, but you can feel him watching you thoughtfully as you take your seats. The chef has prepared a tasting menu for you. It's 7 courses, ends in Wagyu teppanyaki that will melt on your tongue. Don't worry, I'm sure she'll just want a hot dog at the end of this. Oh, this is called petty. You produce the menu he hands you, and it soon becomes clear that it was designed with Levy's tastes in mind. You haven't eaten steak until you've had it prepared here. Very good, Mr. Thorne. Medium rare as... That sounds wonderful, but we have something else in mind. Levy raises an eyebrow as you quickly scan the menu for something he would never choose for himself. The, ubi spring rolls, followed by squid pasta and miso sauce. We're feeling adventurous tonight. One of us certainly is. As soon as the waiter leaves, Levy pounces. Care to tell me what that was about? You said you were willing to give me more control, so I'm taking control. He snakes a hand on the table, his fingertips grazing your knees. He nudges them open, but doesn't slide his hand up your thigh. See, Ella, I can control myself better than you think. You have no idea how much higher I want to go. Levy, self-control isn't the same as giving up control. He pulls his hand away and sits back, clearly recognizing the serious tone in your voice. I know you can control yourself. What I need to see is you handing over the reins sometimes. I'm trying to do that for you, Ella. I'm trying to give you what you need. I want to believe you, but words are a lot easier than actions. I know, but a lot happened while you were gone, Ella. A lot changed. Like what? The truth is, I was hit on all sides by people who know more about me, or knew more than me about what it means to truly love someone. And I don't just mean you. Rand's hearing was yesterday. I thought he was the most miserable future divorcee I'd ever seen until I saw his ex. I realized they still wanted to be together and called the whole thing off. Cutthroat divorce attorney, lawyer Levy Thorne helped a couple reconcile? I did. My mom also paid a visit to talk about some sense into me and give me some advice. I think you'd like her. I don't doubt that. You're interrupted when your food arrives. Your eyes stay trained on Levy as the waiter sets the plates down. Just what you asked for. Intriguing. This actually looks pretty incredible. You grin as the waiter departs. The food looks delicious, and you can't wait to taste it. But first, command Levy to feed me. I would swear these people at this point can't feed themselves. You sit forward and lick your lips in a way that leaves little to the imagination. I'm hungry, and there's only one man who can satisfy me. You part your lips and wait to see what Levy will do. With a flicker of heat in his eyes, he takes a pair of chopsticks and lifts up a bite. You know how much I've always enjoyed filling your pretty mouth. As soon as the food touches your lips, you're done for. Between the delicious food and the gleam in his eye, your every sense is awakened. I guess, not so bad at being in charge thing, and you're not so bad at letting me. You hold your breath as you wait for Levy's response. So far, he's had all the right answers, but the night is only just beginning. Only for you, Ella. I couldn't do it for anyone else. And that'll go right over her head. Eventually, dinner comes to an end and you step out into the balmy night air. I think you'll like what I have planned next. He pulls out 2 tickets from his pocket and holds them out to you. Cirque de Mystique. Isn't the show sold out? Let me guess, you called in a favor and got front row seats. Well, less a favor, more a bribe in this case, but generally, yes. The gesture is sweet, but also a typical Levy. Spotting a sign of for a hypnotist show starting in a few minutes, you get a better idea. I think we should do something a little less, a little different tonight. Hypnotism. You know that's all nonsense, right? Levy, it doesn't matter. It's about you showing me you can let someone else take the lead. He hesitates for a moment, then nods and squeezes your hand. Okay, Ella, if that's what you really want. You head inside, and you're just about to buy balcony seats when a man in a sequin tuxedo approaches the ticket counter. Absolutely not. The couple is dazzlingly dressed as this needs to sit front and center. Do I know you? The man points towards the show's marquee, where an image of his face smiles mysteriously down at you. You will by the time the curtain falls. He turns towards the ticket counter and raps sharply on the surface. Sit this lady and her escort in the VIP section as my guests. You can barely suppress your excitement when the tickets are placed in your hand. You're seated right in the middle of the front row. Hey, Levy, you're the only one who can score good seats. Is this how you've been treated the entire time you've been in Vegas? Levy, you'd be surprised what not scowling at everyone can get you. You arch your brow in a playful invitation. You should try it sometime. Being sweet and innocent has its uses. I'll stick to throwing my money and power around, thanks. He rakes a quick glance up and down your body before his expression relaxes into a grin. And my hot girlfriend, apparently. As soon as you and Levy find your seats, the house lights start to dim. Levy's leg presses against yours as he leans in to whisper to you. I hope you realize that hypnotism is basically just a highly staged version of a dom controlling their subs. What makes you say that? Just watch. The hypnotist is in complete control. The only people he'll bring up are the ones he knows he can command. Watch the ticking of my clock and listen to the sound of my voice. You feel the power of both, and you know yourself to be safe in my hands. See? Classic Dom move, command obedience, and then provide a safe place for personal exploration. You both watch as the woman on stage begins acting out all the hypnotist commands. There's nothing sexy about commanding someone against their will. It's the choice that makes it fun. Levy. She did choose, though. Of her own free will and ignorance. When she volunteered to go on stage, that was essentially her agreeing to the contract. She knew the risks. Levy considers this for a moment, then nods and seems to relax a bit. I hadn't thought of it that way, but you make a good argument. I think some of my legal prowess has rubbed off on you. You elbow Levy and settle in as the show continues. Some of the things the hypnotist does are downright silly, but everyone who steps off a stage looks like they had a good time and they'd gladly come back for more. For my final act, I need a couple who isn't afraid to take center stage. He puts his hand into his eyes and makes a big motion as urging the crowd. It could be your imagination, but it looks like he lingers on you and Levy. Two people who know how to put on a good show, two people who can give up complete control. You glance over at Levy to find that he's not watching the hypnotist at all. He's looking at you, and you know exactly what he's thinking. There's no better way to prove that he's ready to surrender than to be hypnotized in front of a crowd of strangers, with me by his side. Volunteer for the act. Like I said, we'll talk about this at the end of the video. His eyebrow furrow and understanding as his fingertips tighten around yours. I hope you're not seriously considering this. You refuse to let him get to you. This is your night and your chance to prove that control is all just a matter of choice. I can choose to take control. He can choose to let me, assuming he's willing to try. What do you say, crowd? Who's brave enough to put themselves in my hands? Raise my hand and volunteer for us. Command Levy to volunteer. Do it, Levy. Prove to me that you can give control to someone we've never met before. This is a lot to ask, Ella. Your voice doesn't waver as you respond. I'm not asking for anything. I'm telling you what I need from you. Levy hesitates for a moment and then sighs. With his usual air of command, he raises his hand and fixes his gaze on the stage. We'll do it. It's my fashionable friends from the lobby. Come on up, you two. It's not every day I get to command such a powerful pair. An usher appears and helps guide you both to the stage. The bright lights feel blinding at first, but you take comfort from Levy's standing calm and unwavering by your side. He might hate every minute of this, but nothing on earth will force him to show it. The hypnotist takes you by the hand and leads you to the center of the stage. Giving you a twirl, he shows you off before the crowd. I don't know about all of you, but I can't wait to see what these two will do. The roar of the applause from the audience shows how much they agree. Perfect. Well, we're all on the same page. Why don't we have the stern one take a seat in the chair? I can only assume that's me. He takes a seat in a cabaret-style chair at the center of the stage, while you stand to one side. Now, I want you both to follow the movements of this watch as I count you down. You reach out and take Levy's hand as the hypnotist pulls out a gold pocket watch and begins swinging it back and forth. It's mesmerizing, but I don't feel hypnotized. 1, 2, 3. You're both feeling loose and free. 4, 5, 6. You're reaching a state of utter bliss. 7, 8. Now, 9. You're now both mine. You share a glance with Levy. He's no more under the hypnotist spell than you are, but you do feel strangely good. If there's one thing Levy and I have plenty of practice with, it's performing for strangers. What do you say, crowd? Do we want to see how much sin they're willing to put in Sin City? Under cover of the crowd's raucous cheers, the hypnotist glances at Levy and then at you. You know right away what he's asking. He wants to know who he should command to start things off. I should... I'll let me go first. You take a small step back. This places you behind Levy's chair. And second in line to kick the stage performance off. Let's see how far Levy can take things without me. How are you feeling? Sleepy? Relaxed? Uninhibited? Sure. His eyes flicker with annoyance at this terse reply, but he's quick to recover. Since you're so talkative, let's play a word association game. I'll say a word, you tell me the first thing that comes to mind. You're deep in a state of relaxation, so nothing is stopping you from saying exactly what you feel. You can see Levy struggling to buy into this game, but in this, as in all things, he manages to gain mastery over himself. Okay, I can do that. Let's start with an easy one. Beach. Sex. That's what everyone says. How about woman? Sex. The crowd is already starting to laugh with delight. I see you're a man after my own heart. What about love? He hesitates, only a fraction of a second before responding. Ella. This remark draws a huge cheer from the audience. The louder they get, the more you find yourself giving in, and the more you notice Levy's struggling. You two are obviously used to this sort of thing, aren't you? The hypnotist doesn't wait for a response before addressing the audience again. What do you say we see how far they'll take things? The hypnotist glances at you with a gleam of mischief in his eyes. The only things on your boyfriend's hypnotized mind are sex and you. Shouldn't you show him your appreciation? Levy lifts his gaze to yours. The dark, enticing gleam you see there has more power over you than all the hypnosis in the world. I'll give him why not. Okay, but you asked for it. You run your fingers lightly over your collarbone as you shimmy and shake your way over to the front of Levy's chair. Oh, folks, it seems we may have bitten off more than we can chew. As you lower yourself playfully into his lap, the entire audience erupts into roars of appreciation and laughter. You slide your legs open as you straddle his thighs, which feel hard and tense underneath yours. I take it back, this is definitely not a family show. At first, Levy refuses to yield to you, his muscles rigid, his expression tight. The longer you grind your ass against his lap, the more you feel his response. It's okay, Levy, you can trust me. You know how hard it gets me to put on a show. He fights a groan as you gyrate playfully for the audience. I'm trying, Ella. I really am. Then stop trying and give in. I'll never let anyone hurt you. You can't guarantee that. You dip your head down and fling it back up again, your whole body thrumming with appeal. With me, I promise it'll always feel good. You can tell the exact moment he finally lets go. With a low moan, he drops his hands to your hips and guides your movements against his body. Ella. Damn, folks, I think we better bring the privacy screen out for the next part. You pull away from Levy, pleased and flushed with the exhilaration. If this were a club instead of a public stage, you'd be more than willing to keep going. And from the way Levy is starting to pant, you can tell he feels the same. I think we better pull these two out of their trance before things get X-rated. But first, the hypnotist arches his brow at you. You get the feeling he's seen and heard a lot more of what took place on the stage than you bargained for. This might be the only time you'll ever have your partner in this state. Is there anything you want to ask him? I want to know when we can come back and do this again. How he really feels about me, if he'll give me this dance. Oh, we'll do that when we'll come back. You decide to keep things light. You promise Levy that he could trust you to keep him safe. and you meant it. I want to know when our next big trip to Vegas is. I'm ready for round 2. As far as I'm concerned, you can come back anytime. Tickets are on the house. That sounds like a deal to me. You can barely hear anything but the overwhelming burst of applause as the hypnotist counts you back to awareness and escorts you back to your seats. Even though you and Levy both know the show was make-believe, you feel different. Thank you for making me do that, Ella. It was an interesting experience. See what I mean? Giving up control isn't always a terrible thing. You loved it. Not necessarily. You have a hard time reading his expression now that the spotlight is no longer lighting it up. But when he speaks, all the light seems to come from inside your heart. What I really love is you. Once the show ends, you and Levy head back out to the strip. The desert air is warm, comforting, perfect for a moonlit stroll. I could never live in Vegas year-round, but there's something about nights like these that make me want to visit more often. I bet that was part of the hypnotist show. He probably uses subliminal messages to make us come back. Levy takes your hand firmly in his and starts strolling with you down the sidewalk. No, Ella, it's being here with you that makes all the difference. Relaxing into Levy, you rest your head on his shoulder. Without losing stride, he brushes a kiss on the top of your head. Does this mean I've passed your tests? Levy, it's a start. I can see how badly you want to make this work, but I need you to keep your promises for good. I know, but hopefully tonight showed you that I am committed to it to you. He tugs you closer, and the pair of you frozen on the sidewalk. You have to fight to keep your head clear as the heat from his body radiates into you. I want things to be right between us, but I have to know this is more than just one grand gesture, that you really are ready to give me what I want. And what I want is to be a switch. I want to be able to go back and forth. I love being your sub, and I also love being in charge. Sounds like you want the best of both worlds. Exactly. He cradles your face in his hands with nothing but tenderness in his expression. You're the most important thing in my world, Ella, so if that's what you really want, I'm ready. You're mine and I'm yours. You wind your arms around his neck, spin him around to press him up against the nearest wall. It's covered in flyers advertising burlesque shows, private parties, but you couldn't care less as your body slams into his. The press of his hips feels so good that you groan into his mouth and slide your tongue deeper in his waiting heat. After everything you've been through the night, the wet tangle of your mouths feels perfect. So prove it. You slide a hand between your bodies, fingers grazing his inner thighs. You can already feel the swell of his interest. You're a wicked tease, Ella. You know I can't resist you when you get all hot and wild like this. You feel yourself getting lost in the moment, and Levy, everything between you is so perfect that it seems like a shame to waste it. You've unlocked a partial bonus scene. What did I miss? Let's head back to my hotel room. I think we've both earned a reward. Levy releases a low, hungry groan from deep in his throat. As wonderful as that sounds, I can do you one better, if, of course, I have your permission. Levy, this had better be good. If this is some trick to get me on my knees for you, I'd never do that, Ella. He wraps a hand around your waist and leans close. I'm the one who will be on my knees tonight. Levy calls a cab and takes you out towards an empty part of the desert with a long stretch of road and several enormous hangars lining it on either side. Is this a private airport? The one I always fly into when I visit Vegas. You stop as Levy tries to lead you away from the taxi towards his private jet. The last thing you want right now is to fly to some exotic destination on his dime. I thought we were going someplace fun to hook up, not... Trust me, Ella, you'll like this. You gasp as Levy ushers you through the main cabin of his jet towards the back room. Through the cabin door, you can see all the items from your dungeon waiting for you. You brought my dungeon to me. Yes. Now let's see what you're made of, Ella. You lift your chin and spin around to give Levy your sternest, dumb look. Knowing how important it is for me to be in charge, for him to finally give up control. Before we get in there, I want to be sure we're both clear on who's in control. You don't waste any time. The familiar thrill and surge of power moving up your spine demands nothing less. I want you on your knees. He sits on his knees, obediently, watching you. Yes, Ella. For the next 2 hours, I'm yours to command. I'm gonna need more than that. You walk in a circle around him, your eyes drawn to the far doorway and all the familiar things and tortures beyond. You didn't realize how much you'd miss them. With this many toys to choose from, I'm gonna need all night to teach you a lesson. If you tie me up tight enough, I won't have any choice, will I? You peek into a bag Levy brought and see the glint of something silvery and sparkly. His diamond collar. A collar is the ultimate sign of submission. You pick up his collar, excited for all the possibilities that lie ahead. Get into position so I can put this on you now. It gives you a look that tells you he can't wait to take over. But when you don't back down, he sinks lower. Seeing him at this level is even more delicious than you imagine. Smiling, you take your time, slipping the collar around his neck. The sight of him in the collar heats your blood in ways you can't describe. Do you like what you see, mistress? I'll like it even more when I see the pain and pleasure written all over your face. Now, what are we waiting for? You drag Levy to his feet and pull him into the dungeon, where you force him back down in the center of the room. You throw your hand over the chair Levy brought to Vegas to win you over. The fact that he planned this in advance. Where to begin? Your gaze lands on the stilettos you bought to impress Natalia in the job interview, and to kick off your training in style. Well, mistress, now that you have me on my knees, what'll you do with me? I'm gonna show you what pain looks like. His eyes glint hungrily up at you as you grab your stilettos and run the spiked heels playfully through your fingers. I've always wanted to hear you scream. You slip off your shoes and put the stilettos on. The moment that they hear those tall, dangerous heels slip into place, you feel more power radiating through you. You approach Levy with sharp, threatening steps. He swallows heavily as you approach. Don't forget what sensitive skin I have. A mocking laugh escapes you, and the nice thing about Levy is he doesn't have sensitive anything. I don't plan to use these on your skin. You slide your foot between his knees, which are spread low to the ground. He groans as you run the tip of your shoe against the line of his groin. Mistress, would you dare? I dare, sub, I dare so hard. You keep sliding up until the spiked heel grazes the apex of his thighs, exerting light pressure. You let him feel how much strength there is in your calf muscle and in your soul. Levy's low moan of pleasure practically rocks the whole plane. It isn't fair for you to tease me like this. Not when you've been working me up all night. Before you're aware of what's happening, Levy reaches for your leg. His fingers circle your ankle, holding you fast. Did I say you could touch me? No, mistress. He casts a coy look up at you as his hand runs higher up your calf. The pressure of his touch is exquisite, but not nearly as exquisite as the prospect of punishing him for this misdeed. Then what do you think you're doing? He makes it all the way up to your knees, his hands working around the soft inner skin of your thigh. I can't help it. If you put these hot legs within reach, I have no other choice. Without warning, he replaces his hand with his mouth. The moment those soft, wet lips touch your inner thigh, you know you have to regain control and fast. You snap shut and step away, but not before placing your heel in the center of his chest and pushing him back hard. He's breathing so hard that you can feel each rise and fall of his breath. You're gonna pay for that one, sub. I was hoping you'd say that. You should punish me by sitting on my face. I'm sorry, I'm just... It's just wild to hear someone talk like that. Your core spikes with hard, sudden longing, but you force that feeling down. Levy is doing this on purpose, pushing you, goading you, turning me way the hell on. You gesture for him to get up. As he does, there's no way for him to hide his need, or how unsteady his legs are growing. Before we go any further, I think you should strip down. There's no use hiding how bad you want me, not when I can clearly see it for myself. Levy looks as though he wants to argue, but you growl in warning. Do it now, Levy. I'm only gonna play these games with you for so long. His smile curves with the delight. I know, and I can't wait until it happens. He takes his time removing his clothing, clearly unafraid of anything you have planned. If only he knew how much the hard lines of his body make your blood pound. You want to feel his muscles twitch under your touch and feel his strength surge up inside of you. Well, mistress, I'm yours to play with. What now? Long story short, as we went through all the items that she owned. Anyway, it doesn't feel very dom-like to let you take care of me after a session like that. You're not just my dom tonight. You're my partner. My equal. And if being all those things means we get to play like that again, I'm ready whenever you are. You wrap your arms around him, then hold him tight. You don't want this evening to end, but you'll both have to face the real world again. Can we walk back to the hotel instead of driving? I think I need some time to come down from all that. Me too. I can't think of anyone I'd rather take that long walk with than you. Sometime later, you and Levy slowly walk back towards your hotel. There's something oddly romantic about strolling hand in hand with Levy in a city known for its vices. You reach a calmer part of the strip where flashy casinos give way to smaller boutiques and specialty shops. Penny for your thoughts. I was just thinking about how happy I am. For the first time in a long time, I'm starting to feel optimistic about where my life is headed. You mean about work or about us? About everything. Does that mean you've forgiven me? You know deep down in your heart that you forgave him long before now. From the moment Levy arrived in Vegas, he's been everything you need him to be. Supportive, caring, willing to commit, determined to prove that he can give up control when it matters most. Your eyes flick up to the building behind Levy. He hasn't noticed where you are yet, but you can't take your eyes off of it. I have one final test for you, Levy, to prove once and for all you're ready to relinquish your control to me. His gaze melts down into yours, and when he speaks, his voice is softer than you've ever heard it before. Anything, Ella? You know I can't deny you. Then all you have to do is answer one last question. You pull back from him and drop slowly to one knee. Levy watches his eyes wide as you gesture at the Vegas chapel behind him. Levy Thorne, will you marry me? His first response isn't a yes or no. He looks down at you with love shining in his eyes and he grins. I'm serious, Levy. I know, it's just that you weren't the only one thinking of asking that question tonight. He reaches into one jacket pocket, pulls out a small velvet box. He's had it this whole time. Levy, were you really going to propose? No, he bought the ring. Or excuse me, he brought it. He brought it just for shits and giggles. I've wanted to since you first opened your hotel door. I just needed to know you were ready to. My answer is yes, Ella. I'm yours, no reservations, no more holding back, never again. Then, put that ring on my finger. It almost feels too good to be true, but as Levy helps you up and slips the ring on your finger, his touch is the tenderest thing you've ever felt. The ring slides into place, and reality finally sinks in. Your eyes well up with happy tears. It's perfect. You're perfect, and I plan to spend the rest of our lives making sure you know it every day. The lights of the city twinkle around you like 1,000 illicit stars, and Levy's kiss feels like a promise and a homecoming all in one. When you finally pull apart, he's smiling, his love for you on display for all the world to see. So, what do you want to do next? Should I fly us home? Start looking for places on the West Coast? The fact that he's asking means even more than the offer. You've barely had time to think about your promotion, but it can wait. Tonight, you're gonna walk me back to my hotel, lock the door, and tear all the clothes off me again. Tomorrow we'll figure out the rest. You look down at the ring in your finger, your heart swelling with happiness as Levy takes your other hand in his. I can live with that. And no matter what, Ella, I'm in all the way. You smile as you capture his lips in one last kiss. That's just how I like you. The end. Oh boy. I'd applaud, but bullshit. Oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. No wonder, because what I'm about to talk with you about is going to really, I think they ended it because they didn't know where to go with it, and they just handled shit very poorly in this chapter. They've handled shit very poorly in this app. So, ladies, gents, and everyone else, please hang on for just a moment as I say the following, if you did enjoy the content. Like, share, and make sure you're subscribed. Head down to the description of the video, check out all the cool things and whatnot. But let's get into what I need to say. Boy, oh boy. It finally ended. This book 1 was entertaining. It was fun. It was interesting. Book 2 is just their last-ditch effort for you guys to give them money for diamonds. For stuff that you may or may not enjoy. Some of you may enjoy this stuff, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm very much a fan of the whole community and the things involved in it. And the whole 9 yards, right? And I wish to find my other half to, do such things with. I'm being open and honest right now, right? Okay, alright. So, here's my thing. Okay, here's my thing. Bullshit. You're wanting to be as equal, but it's always, think about this, right? Levy was the same way, right? We criticize him. We put him in his place for he doesn't openly comment all the time about how beautiful you are, or, this or that, or the whole 9 yards, even though he treats you like his queen, right? Ladies, again, correct me in the comments below. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Levy always tried to treat you someone special, right? He tried to treat you like his queen, and I mean the guy literally was committed to you, right? Not just that, but he's like, you know what, if you want your way, I'll give you your way, right? And the guy went above and beyond in every single aspect, which is very unrealistic for a lot of people out there in the world. To be able to do the flamboyant, just things of whisking someone away on a trip just because they feel bad and everything else. He was more of a man of actions and less words than tons of words and less actions, right? So, we wanted to be complimented. We wanted to know how beautiful we were. We wanted to... Did anyone stop to think for a minute how often we complimented Levy? We always did it internally, but we never said it to him as well. See, if you're going to be equals, if you're also going to share in Dom role, you also have to give and take too. So sure, her little BS is not for sure equal. Um, like I just feel like this book was rushed. I feel like they didn't know what to do with it. I feel like they went into waters and territory unknown and unbeknownst to them, because a lot of the cheesy, crappy stuff that you see, like 50 Shades or all this other types of stuff, they don't really delve very deeply into the after the life of the you doing this or that or the whole 9 yards, right? They just tried to, like, and they failed to kind of show everything, the in between, the before, the after. Just all they wanted was the bounce chicken wow wow, and that was it. That's bad writing. I can say it. It's bad writing. And also very one-sided writing. Like, here, very quickly, like, again, I said this in book one. I said this at the beginning of book two, and I've said this continually. I feel like someone just wanted to take away who Levy was very piss poorly. Very piss poorly. Again, switches are not like that. Also, I think it's really a bad dig and very handled poorly about how Levy went through all these things that made him into the person he is and the dom he is. And then quickly we shame him, we hurt him, we don't, earn his trust. Isn't that, like, literally, think about this. We have spent 30 plus chapters, 2 books, having Levy gain our trust, having him, do things for us, having all this. And we just demand it. Right? Wow. Talk about really just not, like, respecting the other side, respecting your partner, all this other shit. And just how quickly this ended. Very quickly, how piss poorly they did this. Yeah, I'm allowed to give criticism, especially as a person who is a content creator for this stuff. As a person who is vested in the community, right? Who is interested in good storytelling and giving you guys the best I possibly can within YouTube's BS. Like, I just, no. No. There's no resolution, there's no book three, there's no nothing else. Like, it was just so sped run, it wasn't funny. And they just have no resolution for this, that's all, whatsoever. Right? Like, I'm gonna give you guys, and this will be it, my final feedback. I remember when viewers such as us would criticize chapters for a book, right? And we would think, okay, well, this wasn't handled well, or this went too fast, or whatnot. Did you know chapters, as a developer, would go back and add chapters? Not even kidding. They would go back and add chapters. They would edit things. They would change things depending on the majority of people saying, yo, hey, wow, this is bad. They still do it to this day. There is a reason why, Pixelberry, and I know I'll never be one of your content creator shills, because you can only find one. Everyone else is just really, like, they're standing against you and wanting you to do better. So you can't find many content creator shills out there who are willing to stand up against you, bite the hand that's feeding me in a way, right? And say you need to do better. This app went from being one of the best visual novel apps in the world, right? Rated top on the Apple Store, Google Play, etc. To you, where is it now? You've cost Nexon money and everything else. Like, you literally and figuratively are going downhill, and you just don't give a shit. And the sad part is, this mirrors the same sentiment when your predecessors and several of the people that are still involved with Pixelberry worked at EA. There's a reason why you're no longer at EA. And that's all I'm gonna say. This is mirroring the same shit that happened at EA. This is mirroring literally High School Story, the app, all over again. This is mirroring a lot of shit. History repeats itself. And as writers, you should be, like, more inclined to do better. Be more thoughtful. I know, your overlord there is telling you you need to get it out within a few days, and you have crunch time and all this other shit. And you can't delay now because people are paying for VIP. I don't know, maybe hire better people, maybe hire more people, maybe do better. Maybe spend more than 12 minutes writing a chapter every week. I don't know. Like, I just feel like I could write, and I know I've wrote better than this crap in my life. I used to have so much faith in this app. I have so much faith in this game. And this is how, like, this goes to show me. I'm not even, like, normally you guys know me lately. I've been all joyous about when we end a book. I'm like, yes, I'm so glad we made it to another book together. This one, no, I'm actually kind of like, I wish I would have died when this was halfway decent. Like, that's how strongly I feel about this right now. That's how strongly I feel about this. Like, come on. Really? Really, guys? This is imagine, there's a thing called writer's integrity, and this is yours. What a shame. Anyway, let me know if you share the same sentiments down below. I think it's time I hang up the choices hat. I'm gonna be honest with you. The app's going downhill. There's like a dozen plus other apps that have come out. Millions of people are playing, and we're not getting to those. And like every week, like it's extremely hard for me to do this, right? Especially in the state that I'm in, and then also using my voice. It's actually painful, but I go through that to do this stuff for you guys. I would rather waste my time going and doing other apps right now that give far better, in my opinion, content and are fresh, new, not my money hungry, like needing $17 a month to give you guys little inkling a bit amount of content. That's just bounce checka wow wow focused. So I don't know. Let me also know your thoughts on that down below, because I'm just from my sentiment and from a lot of you guys' comments, a lot of you are like, "Hey, I stopped playing choices a long time ago. I only tune in your videos." So I'm starting to really feel like that's what a lot of sentiment is. I've noticed a lot of other choices channels dying as well. So yeah, I'm just saying it. Sorry this message rant at the end of the video took so damn long, but again, I feel, this is passion. Congratulations, I just conveyed more passion about something than most of the writers at Pixelberry. I say most because not all of you are bad, but I digress. Peace.